Okay, let's go to video 17, lesson number 14. When we finish this stage, this is good for most people finishing this stage. Beyond here, we get into advanced stuff. We'll call this finishing intermediate. Again, I'm on my 1200 stone. This is a ceramic stone, ceramic silica, 1200 points per inch. The stone will get you as sharp as you usually need to be. When we finish the knife with this stage, we're getting to the dangerous point where someone can cut themselves, not even know they're cut until they feel a lot of blood. If you slip, this will be into bone before you can pull back. So from here on out, you need to pay careful attention to what you're doing. If you have kids or anybody around who doesn't understand knives, keep them away from this knife from this point, because we're about to get very, very sharp, which we already are. I did one pass V pattern because it's a much, much finer stone. Let's do one pass circular pattern. And I can tell you right now, the knife is already very, very sharp compared. Most people would never see a knife this sharp unless they're in an operating room getting, operated on with a surgeon's scalpel. But we're getting very sharp even at 1200 now. We're going to go much, much further than this once we start doing advanced lessons. This is just a notable stopping point here for people who just want something good enough for their kitchen or normally to carry around in their pocket, just something really, really sharp they can shave with, which will be fine. From here, we're going to go on to surgically sharp, scalpel sharp, industrial sharp. Even with this knife, which is 440 stainless, about 80% of all kitchen knives are just 440 stainless. 90% of all pocket knives are 440 stainless. It's a very, very popular alloy of stainless steel, and it works fine for this. If we go to 440C, it's a little bit harder, has more carbon. I can do more with it, but 440C is a real good general purpose metal, which is why it's used in just about all retail knife stuff. Works great. I just did a circular pattern left, a circular pattern right, and you can see now it's getting that really nice marbled effect, kind of like a mirror or prism or mother of pearl. That's when we know we're getting where we want to be. Again, mirror effect, mother of pearl, kind of a prism look. It's not a mirror finish yet, but you can tell it looks like it's going to be really, really sharp. That's the idea. Notice I've not even tried to see how sharp it is yet. My burr, it's getting very small, but I can feel its burr up right now because I just flipped. Again, always flip, start against your burr. Just put a little bit of oil there. You need a little bit less oil when you're doing finer stones because there's not as many dips and valleys in that grade of stone to soak up your oil. I'm just going to go a straight V pattern all the way out. Once I feel the tanto is starting to roll over the edge of it, lift, start on the other edge of the tanto blade, come all the way out to the end. Spend a little bit more time on the end than normal than the other because you've got a shallower angle, more metal to cut off, so that way it's all balanced. I'm already back to the tanto, jump that, come back, run all the way down the length of the straight edge till I get to the serrated, which is about right there. Flip left. When I say left or right, I have a handle left, handle right. I failed to mention that a minute ago. If I say left and right, sometimes I say that, or up or down, because there is no up or down really, depending on where your burr is at. So handle left, handle right. You can hear I'm up against the serrated now. That's what that right there, off, on, off. That's just because I'm up against the serrated edge. Doing a V pattern all the way out to the tanto angle. Skip the tanto, run on the shovel nose or the shovel edge, which is this out here. A little more time on the end. Come back across. Skip the tanto, work my way into the middle here, up against the serrated. All right, you see on the stone, I can see black stuff floating. If you angle your stone, you can see it all kind of float this way and that way, so we know we're getting into the really dangerous area. Wipe your stone off. Usually I clean off the side rails on it, since we're doing circular pattern. Anytime you wipe your stone, don't even put it down. Go ahead and put more oil on it before you even put it down. That way you're in your habit of never having a dry stone. Again, never run a dry stone. We'll run the post back in. Let's clean off our blade here a couple times. See what we have. Yeah, it's looking much better now. I can see I can still do a few more passes if I really want to get good, which is what we're going to do. Very, very sharp. I can feel that slicing effect right now. It would go right into my hand, no problem at all. Again, for most people, they're happy with this. If you carry this in your pocket as a carry pocket knife, this will be sharp enough to do almost everything you need to. If this is in your kitchen, I wouldn't necessarily recommend it because someone will cut themselves very badly. Another note of safety: if you're going to be sharpening your kitchen knives and butcher knives, you have to kind of have a family meeting and say, we no longer put our dirty knives in the sink, because if you put a razor sharp knife in your sink, it's under the water. No one's going to know it's under the water until they reach in there to pick it up, and invariably they're going to grab this edge. They're not going to feel themselves cut until they see blood in the water and maybe a slight tug or sting. Then when they pull their hand out, they're going to be cut to the bone. So if you're going to sharpen your kitchenware from this point right now forward, you need to make sure you either wash your dirty knife as soon as you make it dirty and put it away, or don't put it in the sink anymore. How sharp are we here? Well, let's see. Yeah, see, I just shaved off a big chunk of hair without any effort right there. So nice bald spot right there. So this could probably shave your face. It'd certainly shave your arms and legs, which is not the purpose of it. But again, we're finishing intermediate step right here. If you just want a good sharp knife, you can probably stop watching at this point and use my previous technique and go all the way with that. Otherwise, you're welcome to watch future videos and see just how sharp we can get this piece of 440 stainless here, and you'd be surprised how far we can take it and make it really, really look good if you're doing this or if you're doing any other knife. So we'll go to the next video, which begins advanced stuff.